Welcome to the deep dive. There are some everyday things that can feel, well, surprisingly tough sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're doing them in a new language, maybe, or just a situation you're not used to.
Definitely.
And high on that list for a lot of people, phone calls,
Mm.
especially those really necessary ones like making appointments.
Oh, yeah. They feel simple, but there's a lot going on under the surface.
Exactly. And these aren't just, chit chat. They're how you get access to important stuff, healthcare, dentists, other services you might need. They're like gateways.
That's a great way to put it. Gateways.
Yeah.
And navigating them well, it's not just about booking the slot, is it? It connects to, like, confidence in communicating day to day, making
Yeah.
that first impression.
Absolutely. Which kind of brings us neatly to our mission for this deep dive.
Okay.
We want to equip you, our listeners, with the confidence and, crucially, the exact phrases you need
Right.
to, smoothly make appointments, confirm them, even change them if you need to. All over the phone, we're going to untack the language that makes it all work.
And we've got some really good material to work with today. Our sources include these real-life role-play scenarios.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, calls to a doctor's office, a dentist's office, and they come with breakdowns of the language being used, so it's not just theory.
Practical stuff, actionable.
Exactly. Straight from, well, simulated real-world examples.
Okay, great. So let's jump right in then. Where do we start? The foundation, I guess.
Yeah, makes sense. Let's talk about politeness first, and especially those key little words, modal verbs.
Ah, the coulds and woulds.
Precisely. Could, would, should, can. They're subtle, but they do so much heavy lifting in making requests sound, well, polite instead of demanding.
And politeness really matters here, doesn't it? Especially with someone you don't know, like a receptionist.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
not just about being nice. It's strategic. It sets a professional tone, signals respect. It basically smooths the whole interaction.
Like a social lubricant, almost.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Our sources really hammer this home, that respectful tone helps clarity and makes the whole thing go much more smoothly.
It's interesting how just changing "I want" to something like "if I was wondering if I could" totally shifts the feel.
It really does. It's less confrontational. It invites cooperation.
Yeah. And the examples you mentioned earlier, instead of "give me your name,"
It becomes, could I get your full name? Much softer.
or asking about times, not "can I come tomorrow," but
Would it be possible to come in tomorrow? It just frames it as a polite inquiry about possibility.
expressing need, like "I think I should get it checked out."
Exactly. Gentler than, I need to get it checked out.
Yeah.
Same for asking questions like, can I ask? Would I need to fast? That little can I ask softens the whole thing.
So the rule of thumb is basically, when in doubt, use could, would, or may I.
That's what the sources suggest, yeah.
Yeah.
It just generally makes requests sound more considerate, more professional. Hard to go wrong with that.
Okay, so we've got the theory. How does this sound in practice? Let's walk through one of those scenarios. Maybe the doctor's appointment call.
Sounds good. So the call starts, predictably, with the receptionist's polite opening. Something like,
Good morning. Thank you for calling Dr. Mason's office. How may I help you today? Standard? Friendly?
right, and the patient replies clearly, politely, I'd like to make an appointment to see the doctor, please. Straightforward.
Okay, purpose stated. Then comes the info dump, right? Why are
Yeah.
they calling?
Yep. The patient explains, I've been having some chest congestion and mild coughing for the last few days. I think I should get it checked out.
Clear reason, and then personal details.
The receptionist would likely ask for the name David Thompson in this case, and then ask if he's a new patient.
And he clarifies, I believe I've been there once before, but it's a few years ago, so I might be in your system, which is helpful context.
It is. It tells the receptionist they might need to update info, or maybe just find an older file. It manages expectations.
Okay, details sorted. Now, the scheduling part. Finding a time.
David asks, using that polite phrasing, would it be possible to come in tomorrow morning?
But, spoiler alert, it's not available.
Right. The receptionist has to deliver that news, but offers an alternative. Dr. Mason is fully booked tomorrow morning, but she does have a 2:15 p.m. slot in the afternoon. Would that work for you?
Clear information, clear alternative, and that polite check. Would that work for you?
Exactly. And David accepts. 2:15 should be fine. Simple confirmation.
But it doesn't always end there, right? There are often practical questions.
True. Like, how long does the appointment usually take? Good question to ask.
And the answer here is typically 20-30 minutes, but arrive 10 minutes early. Standard advice.
Then, should I bring anything with me? Another really important one.
Yep. Photo ID, insurance card, maybe a list of medications, the usual suspects.
And David asks one more specific thing. Can I ask, would I need to fast before the appointment?
Which is relevant for some tests, but not usually for a standard checkup.
Correct. The receptionist clarifies. No fasting needed unless the doctor specifically requests blood work later.
Okay. And then the call wraps up politely.
Yes. Both sides say thank you, maybe confirm the time one last time. And the receptionist often adds something helpful, like, let us know if you need to reschedule.
Which is great, sets expectations. Okay, so that's a fairly standard doctor's visit call. But what about, say, a dentist? And maybe you're a new patient. Does that change things?
It shifts things slightly, yeah. Our sources have a scenario for that, too.
How does that one start?
The patient, Sarah, starts politely again. Hi, I was wondering if I could make an appointment for a dental cleaning. Using that, I was wondering if structure.
Nice and indirect. And because she didn't say she was a returning patient?
The receptionist immediately asks, have you been to our clinic before?
Logical question.
And Sarah confirms, no, this would be my first time. That triggers the need for more details.
Right, like name and phone number.
Exactly. The receptionist asks, could I have your full name, please, Sarah Collins? And could you also provide a phone number, 555-0192? Again, using could I and could you.
All very slight requests. Then on to scheduling preferences.
Yep. Are mornings or afternoons better for you? Sarah prefers mornings.
So the receptionist checks the schedule.
And offers specific options. We have a 9:30 a.m. slot this Thursday or an 11:15 a.m. next Monday. Would either of those work? Giving clear choices.
And Sarah thinks for a second. I'm busy Thursday morning. Could we go with Monday? Proposing an alternative based on the options.
Perfect. And the receptionist confirms, okay, Monday at 11:15 a.m. with Dr. Patel. Nailed down.
And because she's a new patient, there's probably extra info.
Right. Things like text reminders, maybe. And crucially, the advice to arrive early, maybe 15 minutes for paperwork. That's pretty standard for first visits.
Those phrases, would either of those work for you and could we go with, seem really useful for that back and forth negotiation of times.
They absolutely are. Very clear, very polite ways to manage the scheduling part.
Okay, so we've covered making appointments, but, life happens, plans change. What about rescheduling? Is there an art to that?
Maybe not an art, but definitely standard procedure.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's super common. Receptionists deal with it all the time. No need to feel bad about it.
Good to know. So how does that conversation typically go, based on our sources?
It usually starts with the patient stating the situation clearly and politely. Something like, I have an appointment scheduled for tomorrow at 2:15, but I'm afraid I won't be able to make it.
Straight to the point. Polite explanation. No need for a long story.
Exactly. The receptionist will likely respond with something like, no worries, or, okay, thank you for letting us know, and then clarify, would you like to cancel or reschedule?
Giving options. And if the patient wants to reschedule...
They'd say, I'd prefer to reschedule, if possible. Then they might suggest a general time frame. Could I come in later this week? Maybe Friday.
Okay, so suggesting a new window.
Right. And the receptionist checks availability for Friday and offers specific slots again. We have availability at 10:45 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. on Friday. Would either of those suit you?
Same pattern. Offer specific times, check if they work.
Precisely. And the patient confirms. 3:30 p.m. sounds perfect.
Simple. And maybe they offer to send a confirmation email.
Often, yes. It's good practice. And importantly, what if neither of those times do work?
Good point. What then?
The sources give a great phrase for that. I'm afraid that doesn't work for me. Do you have anything earlier or later? It keeps the search going politely.
That's really useful. Okay, one last scenario then. Sometimes you just want peace of mind, right? You just want to confirm everything's set.
Absolutely. Calling to confirm is quick, easy, and prevents potential mix-ups.
So how does that brief call go?
Super simple. Patient calls. Hi, I just wanted to confirm my appointment for tomorrow.
Clear purpose.
Then provide the name. It's under Sarah Collins.
So they can find the booking.
And the receptionist checks and confirms. Yes, we have you down for Monday at 11:15 a.m. with Dr. Patel.
Perfect. And the patient might say something like,
Great! Perfect. I just wanted to double-check the time. Using double-check is a nice synonym for confirm.
quick, efficient, everyone's on the same page. Love it.
It avoids any day of surprises.
Okay, so we've walked through making, rescheduling, confirming. Let's maybe do a quick recap of the key tools. Vocabulary and phrases.
Good idea. So key vocabulary. Those modal verbs could, would, can, essential for polite requests.
Reschedule, meaning to change the time or date.
Available or availability, talking about open slots.
Double check or confirm, making sure info is right.
And the phrases like suit you or work for you, checking if a time is convenient.
Got it. And those must-know scheduling phrases.
Things the receptionist might ask, like, do you have a preferred time? Or would you be available on?
Or things they might say like, let me check our schedule.
And definitely, would either of those times work?
Plus, that key question for you to ask, should I bring anything with me?
Exactly. Having those ready really helps.
So, wrapping this up, we've gone pretty deep today. Making appointments, changing them, confirming them, all using that polite, effective language, especially those modal verbs.
The goal really is to give you the confidence and the practical phrases to handle these calls smoothly, whether it's your first time calling that office or you're just trying to juggle a busy schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best way to build that confidence.
Practice.
Yeah.
Honestly. Maybe role play with a friend. One person is the receptionist, the other is the patient. Switch roles.
Good idea. Or even just re-listen to parts of this deep dive. Focus on the phrases used in the scenarios. Get that natural flow into your head.
Immerse yourself in those real-life expressions, as our sources put it.
Right. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about how mastering this kind of polite communication, using these modal verbs effectively, how that applies elsewhere.
Oh, good point. It's not just for appointments.
Exactly. How can these skills help in other situations where you need clarity, professionalism, respect? Think about, I don't know, formal inquiries, customer service calls.
Even networking calls, perhaps.
Yeah, it's a foundational skill, isn't it? Nailing this kind of polite phone communication builds confidence for pretty much any phone interaction you might have. Something to mull over.